Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you for the Hot Lead Zone. And good evening to all of you out there. Tonight's topic is, what is it about Lapua brass that we really like and is justified for the more pricey cost of Lapua brass compared to, say, this Winchester brass that we have here. A lot less expensive for the Winchester brass. But the Lapua, well, we open the Lapua box and look at the brass and it just looks good. It's got nice annealing here. You can actually feel the difference in texture of the annealed surface, and the rest of the brass is very nicely finished and polished. When you compare the appearance of the Lapua brass to the Winchester, the Lapua has a nicer polish than the Winchester. You can actually see the annealing. The Winchester, you can't really see it. And there's more damage on the edges of the case mouths on the Winchester, whereas the Lapuas all look pretty uniformly round on the case mouth. Now when you check the flash holes, the Lapua has no burrs on the flash holes because it's been drilled. Flash holes are drilled, whereas the Winchesters are punched. So when you get into the flash hole, you can actually feel little burrs in there you've got to remove with the flash hole removal tool. So you got to do a little case prep, whereas the Lapua is already pretty much prepped. Now on most reviews of brass, the reviewer goes ahead and weighs the cases. So I've got to go ahead and do that and repeat that for you to see, but to save time, you'll see that if I go ahead and weigh one of these Winchester cases, it's around 190.9 grains. In fact, I weighed 20 of them by random out of that box, and the average was exactly 190.9 grains. But the spread was between 188.5 and 193. So you got about looks like about a 4.5 grain spread, high to low. However, the Lapua brass, you'll notice that they're all 194 point something with a few 195.0s. So the spread is somewhere around a grain. That's 15 of them weighed, so we'll go ahead and weigh 5 more for you to see. So I'll just take out of random, just grab one here. We'll go ahead and weigh that. You see 194.7. It's between 194 and 195. Just grab another one. Just reach in here and grab another. We got 2. Let's go ahead and put one here. 194.7. Exactly the same as the last case. Now we'll go another one. 194.4. So we got 2 more. I think you get the idea that the spread's only 1 grain. 194.5. 194.7. So the last 5 that we weighed, 3 of them were 194.7. So I don't know about you, but gotta be impressed by the consistency of the weight of the Lapua brass within 1 grain. And without even calculating, it looks like the average is 194.5. Now, of course, most reviewers also measure the overall length of the brass because that's just normally done by all reviewers. So I've got to do the same thing in this video, otherwise we're leaving something out. So what I did was I went ahead and measured the overall length of 23 Lapua cases. And it got a low of 2.481 inch, a high of 2.487 inch, and the average of 2.485 inches. So the spread is only 6 thousandths of an inch among 23 cases. Now notice the average being 2.485 is very close to the trim 2 length of the 30-06, which is 2.484, because the maximum overall length before we have to trim is 2.494. So these are 9 thousandths less than the must trim or maximum overall length to require trimming. So we're close to the trim to length, very close, with the Lapua brass. Let's see how the Winchester does. I went ahead and measured 15 of them already, and so now we'll just show you to return the favor of the Lapua. The last time with the weights, we'll go ahead and do the measuring of the overall length of the Winchester brass. So that's 2.486. Go ahead and measure the next one. Uh-oh, we got a long one there. 2.489. That's kind of a renegade there, 89. So we'll just save some time here. We'll measure 2 of them. That's 87. 83. 8783. And one more. That's 85. Always harder to do things when the camera's in the way, I'll tell you. Okay, so the Winchester wound up with a low of 2.483, a high of 2.496, average of 2.487. So it is between the maximum overall length and the trim to length for the 30-06. But the spread is 0.013. That's quite a bit of spread compared to the Lapua of 0.006. Roughly twice the spread of the brass overall length. But now let's do something that you don't see on other YouTube videos in comparing brass like Lapua versus Winchester Western, and that is we're going to take our Necco. It's not just a runout gauge, which you've seen me use this for that purpose, but it's also a concentricity and a wall thickness gauge. So let's go ahead and check some of these features of this brass. So here's our Necco set up for concentricity of the case. And we have here a cone that fits the mouth of the case, a support back here, and then we set the little gauge pointer there, the indicator, to be right in the middle of the anneal zone. And the idea behind this is you put a little pressure toward the cone to the left, and then you rotate the case and you watch the deflection of the needle. So we go from the max, which is right there, you see, and you go back, go right back to that. There's 1 thousandths, 2 thousandths, little less than 3 thousandths in terms of the deflection of the concentricity of the case. This is Lapua. So there's 3 thousandths, so we'll grab another one. There we go. Now the pointer is right there. Get that case pressed against. Oh, there it was. It wasn't in the cone. Okay. There's 2 thousandths. Let's see if we can get a good measurement here. Oh. Okay, there's the deflection, as you see. It's only 1 thousandths. A little bit more than 1 thousandths. That's pretty impressive. I don't know if you saw that or not on the video, but there you go. Well, let's just grab another one out of the box here. And there it is. See where the needle is? Roughly at 12 o'clock. There's 2000s, 3000s. Wait a minute, now let's get that. Their low is right there. Okay, there's 1000s, 2000s. It's actually a little less than 2000s. That's pretty impressive. Get another one out of the box here. I don't have to show you. You can hear me just grabbing one. Okay, get that into the cone. And that's a little less than 2000s. Okay. Anyway, it gives you an idea what the Lapua is. Now let's grab one of these Winchesters right here. Just grab one. Again, the needle's up at 12 o'clock. And we got... Okay, there's the low. Right there. There's the thousands. There's 2000s, 3000s. A little bit over a little bit over 3000s. Yeah, no. Get that consistent. There it is. No. It's jumping on us. Okay, there's 2000s, there's 3000s. Oh. What's happening is that I'm losing, it's jumping when I'm changing my finger position. There's 1000s, 2000s. About 3000s on that one. Let's grab one from the back. Okay, the needle's at 12 o'clock. There's 1000s. I'll get that reading there, 1000. A little over 2000s. That one's not bad. Grab another one. Get that to be consistent. There's 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000s on this one. Yeah, 4000s on that one. Oh, this one's got a fair amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit more than 5000s on this one. Okay, so you get the idea. The Winchester brass has a little more lack of concentricity when it comes to the case runout. Now this tool also allows us to measure the case wall thickness because you want consistency of that. Plus, you want to know where the thin area is on the case wall, because the thinking is that if you make a little file line where the thin spot is, then you can always align that in the chamber at 12 o'clock and achieve more consistency of your groups that way. And the way you do that is you slide it onto that cord anvil, they call it, and then you make sure it's seated against the cone and you take a reading. And then you rotate it a little bit, take another reading. And rotate it a little bit, take another reading. You see it's a little higher there. So the case is a little bit thicker there. And a little thicker there. And a little thicker there. So you want to find the thinnest spot. There it is right there. So you would then make a little file line right there, and that was somewhere around 2,500. So we just take a representative Lapua case and see what kind of readings we get with this. Okay, there it is. Let's go ahead and rotate it a little bit. There's a thousandths variation. make sure it's all the way in that cone. There's the thousandths, 2/1000ths, a little bit more. Yeah, about 2/1000ths. I gotta get it into that. Don't let it slip out of that cone, give you a bad reading. Okay, there's the thin area there on this one. So, about 2/1000ths case thickness there, variation. But we've got the thin area identified. The Lapua brass comes through with better consistency commensurate with the priciness of the brass. Is it worth it? I would say yes, and if you have a rifle that's fairly accurate, you'll want to get some Lapua brass. Now, Lapua brass is not made in every caliber, but it's made in a lot of the popular calibers and in almost all of the real precision calibers that we have. So take care, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.